And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
Yes, the 12 days of Christmas are over. Yes, my tree is still up, but it's one last look at the season that we all love so much. And the farm show has ended, so we're really into the dead of winter at this point. And Joe Biden finally made it to the southern border. And at the same time, articles of impeachment are being prepared against Alejandro Mayorkas, the secretary who's supposed to be in charge of the southern border, and the complete debacle that's going on there. But that's not the big debacle of the week. What we saw is an incredible unraveling, maybe the tip of the iceberg of Biden corruption with respect to the classified documents that he held both in his offices at the University of Pennsylvania, his think tank, and in his private residence. You know, it's amazing if you go back and hear the words that these folks screamed and yelled when Donald Trump's house was being raided by the FBI. That didn't happen to Joe Biden, incidentally. And all of the harangue that they gave from their ivory towers and all the moral outrage. Let's wait and see if we hear any of that now as a special counsel has been appointed, as more and more facts begin to roll out, and as the situation appears and becomes more serious. This is, as I say, just the tip of the iceberg in my judgment. There's a lot more to come. And this week, in another disaster for the Biden administration, we had the first complete shutdown of the nation's aviation system. Imagine that. This is the first shutdown since 9/11. We all know why it had to happen on that day. Why did it have to happen this week? There are a lot of questions being asked and very few answers coming forward. But we do know this much. The guy in charge is Pete Buttigieg, the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana. When he was running for president, I often said the mayor of Erie, Pennsylvania, from my state, should run for president because it's a bigger city with less problems. The biggest transportation system that Pete Buttigieg ever ran was the bus system in South Bend, and the roads there were so pockmarked with potholes that he became known as Pothole Pete. And what's he done with his nearly $25 billion budget and 58,000 employees? Not enough to withstand what happened this week, and instead has focused on the woke agenda that he's so famous for, ferreting out bad language about roads and all this kind of stuff. We need real leaders who know what they're doing in these positions. This is yet another example of the Biden administration putting incompetent people in places because of the woke agenda. And back here in my home state of Pennsylvania, lots of wrangling in the General Assembly as we prepare to inaugurate a new governor this coming week. You remember that there was a deal made to put Mike Rozzi, a Democrat, into the Speaker's chair with his promise to be independent. Now, there was a question about whether that meant independent with a small I or a capital I, but the maker of that deal says Rozzi promised him that he would re-register as an independent, and he failed to do that, said he was now just thinking about it, and so Representative Jim Gregory called on him to resign. We asked from the beginning whether this was a good deal, a not so good deal, or an outright bad deal. And I still maintain that if the deal was to keep Rozzi in the chair for the entire session, it's not a bad deal. But if that wasn't the deal, it might be a terrible deal. And I can say this with some certainty. There is a lot of uneasiness, and that's in very diplomatic parlance, within the Republican caucus right now over the leadership making this deal. Whether or not it holds together, we don't know. But it's going to mark a very tumultuous session of the General Assembly because yet another special election looms on the horizon because Linda Culver, a Republican member of the House of Representatives, is running in a special election later this month to fill a Senate seat. It's very, very likely that she's going to win. And when she does, it will create yet another vacancy in the House, only in Pennsylvania. But for now, in this midwinter break, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.